Here I am once again. Today I'm gonna be cutting up some Squishmallows and then piecing them back together. I saw some Squishmallow TikToks doing this and I just had to give it a try. I have done this once before. This is the sequel no one asked for. There's gonna be a lot of murder involved. If you have a weak stomach, if you're a sparkle butt, or if you accidentally clicked on this video and are now horrified, go cry in a corner. I might be, no, I actually will be, cutting up some of your favorite Squishmallows. So prepare yourself. You know what you're getting into. You've been forewarned. I'm starting off with everyone's favorite brother-sister duo, Benny and Zaylee. They had a very scandalous wedding in a previous video. Apparently Benny's supposed to be with Brina.
Betrayed and embarrassed.
Let's be honest, Brina and Zaylee look exactly the same. There's so much going on in the lives of Squishmallows, so sometimes it's just hard to keep up. So that's my excuse. But anyways, I'm cutting open Zaylee. I've been tiptoeing around this idea of cutting up Squishmallows for a long time. I started off by just making no-sew costumes for my Squishmallows, promising never to harm them. And then I turned it up a notch and stabbed my Squishmallows into mini needle-felted versions of themselves. Which sounds evil and gruesome, but actually ended up looking pretty adorable. Over time, things got progressively more evil. My videos have now descended into a series of me cutting up my Squishmallows. I'm trying to make the cut exactly down the middle. I'm going for like a half and half vibe with this one. I'm mostly only using half of Zaylee today. As always, the stuffing feels like a cloud. Who knew cutting Squishmallows open would feel this good? Now that I have an abundance of stuffing, some of you suggested I should make my own Squishmallows, which sounds like a great idea in theory, but I feel like you guys might have overestimated my skill level just a tad bit. So here's Zaylee. She's feeling a little torn. Still cute though. I like cutting up Squishmallows and making creepy cute Frankenstein creations. It's just more my style. I'm not cutting up Benny. I'm just gonna be adding bits and pieces to him. Benny has completely moved on from Brina. He has chosen his path. He wants to become one with Zaylee. Cute. I wanted to glue half of Zaylee on top for the base, but turns out I can't exactly do that. Benny's tiny foot is getting in the way. For some reason, Benny the Bigfoot has comically stubby legs, so I've decided to part ways with it. I guess I am cutting up Benny today. It's just a scratch. He'll make a full recovery.
'Tis but a scratch.
I also got rid of the tag in the back while I'm at it. Might as well get that out of the way too. I was gonna move on to attaching things, but then I realized Benny's ear is probably gonna mess things up as well. Now that that's out of the way, I'm gonna bring them back together in holy matrimony. The main thing I'm concerned about is lining up their lips, so I'm starting there. I feel like if those weren't lined up, then it would be glaringly obvious that things are not aligned. I'm taking things bit by bit because there's no undoing when it comes to fabric hot glue. It's a very strong bond that I would not be able to pull apart, so I'm really trying to take things slow and get things perfectly aligned. Last time I did this, I took a leap of faith and just did it. I cut up my Squishmallows and boy, what a mistake that was. Who knew you guys were so sensitive? I didn't know this many sparkle butts were hanging around the dark side. Maybe they're hate watching me. That's actually a very evil thing to do. I get it now. I'm not slaughtering your Squishmallows. I'm only cutting up my own. My Squishmallows were not expensive. I got them at $5 below. I'm willing to sacrifice $5 now and then for the sake of art. But if you're really bothered, you can just play this video backwards and it'll be like I'm putting the Squishmallows back together. A win-win situation. Whatever gives you peace of mind. As for my Squishmallows, Zaylee likes to be glued to Benny's side. There's no separating them. After all, she's Benny's better half now, and there's nothing Brina can do to get between them. At some point, I started using a popsicle stick to avoid burning my fingers. I've burned myself one too many times, so now I'm trying to take proper precautions to prevent that. Anyways, once that's all glued together, I did a bit of trimming here and there, trying to clean up the edges as best as I can. Benny's fur goes all the way around his face, while Zaylee's doesn't, which can be annoying. Things might look disproportionate, but that's just how Zaylee's Squishmallow is designed. That's not on me. I'm guessing it's because Benny has some facial hair while Zaylee doesn't. I don't know. Not sure. I'm just making stuff up, honestly. To give them a creepier look, I'm adding some button eyes. I always like giving my characters one eye bigger than the other. It's kinda my thing. A lot of my characters have that crazy vibe to them, so to kinda give it that same effect, I'm using buttons of different sizes. I pulled out some slick paint for the stitches. I wasn't sure which color to go with. It was a tough decision, but I settled on pink. Even though I never actually stitch anything together, I like the look of stitches on things. Some people really want me to learn how to sew, but, you know, what if I don't want to? I'm just not very passionate about sewing. It's not something I want to do. Plus, I feel like there's a good portion of you guys that don't sew. I want the stuff I do to be accessible to everyone as much as possible. Fabric hot glue kinda achieves that. I'm not adding stitches to their hairy bits, mostly because I don't think that would look neat, especially if the fur kept moving around. The buttons should of course look sewed on though, so I added stitches to those as well. I realize it doesn't look sewn together. It's not meant to be realistic. I'm not going for realism. I like it this way. I'm bringing back the rest of Zaylee. Gotta put the rest of her to good use, or at least a bit of her. I'm cutting off some of her skin for a patch. Things are looking pretty creepy cute right now, at least in my humble opinion, but I wanted to add a derpy twist. I love adding a derpy looking twist to my characters. I wasn't sure how to do that with this mess, so I'm hoping her tongue sticking out pulls off that vibe a bit. To make it look more realistic, I pulled out a Sharpie and I'm adding some detail to the tongue. Just a little bit of detail. Wouldn't want to overdo it. Please refrain from mentioning Brina while leaving well wishes for the happy couple. Thank you. My next Squishmallow is not going to be slaughtered or permanently disfigured in any way. Seth the Red Panda, one of the lucky few, at least for today. Looking at his dim-witted face, I have a strong urge to gut him, but I won't act on it this time. I will, however, still be getting rid of the tags. All of his tags. The thing with Seth is that he's a big fan of Hello Kitty. I know, that's random. And also borderline Sparklebutt territory. Don't worry, this story will take a dark turn soon enough. But for now, Seth has to go. I'm focusing my attention on Hello Kitty. I saw this Hello Kitty Squishmallow at Five Below. She happened to catch my eye, so I decided to get her. I picked her up mostly because I liked her outfit. I thought it might be funny to steal her dress, so that's why I'm cutting her in half. I like contrast. I like putting creepy and cute together, so I thought this cute dress would be funny on an evil character. It's kinda like ironic. I don't know. In order for Seth to fit inside this, I have to cut out the bottom of the dress as well. Seth isn't just wearing Hello Kitty's clothes. He's kinda obsessed with her. It's a very unhealthy obsession. Something wrong here. So he's also wearing her flesh. He murdered Hello Kitty. Doesn't get much more evil than that. Yeah. I was originally just gonna make him wearing the dress and bow and then give him more of an evil voodoo doll kind of look. But I tried Hello Kitty's skin on him and I thought it was funny. I love it, so I'm keeping it. Seth is gonna need an accessory, so I pulled out some felt. You might think, oh, Seth dressed up like Hello Kitty. How cute. No, he's not dressed up as her. He cut her up and is wearing her flesh. He's evil, bad to the bone. Don't let his cute face fool you. To make that more obvious, I'm making him an axe. It's not actually his axe. He's borrowing it from the Butcher Pig's assistant. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Butcher Pig's assistant, he's from my last fidget toy video. To sum things up for you, he's not the Butcher Pig himself. Rather, he's the assistant, and he carries around a bloody axe. And he's got a girlfriend who's very pretty.
Whenever.
Back to Seth. Now that's what I call creepy cute. But that's not all. Seth's kinda a diva, so he's having a quick wardrobe change. It's gonna be real quick. I'm not gonna do too much for this one. While I was at Five Below, I picked up this bee, or it's more of a bear inside a bee. A bear bee, not to be confused for a Barbie. They're entirely different things. He's very cute and cuddly, but he's not a Squishmallow. So many people keep getting mad at me for cutting tags off Squishmallows or cutting up Squishmallows. You can't go through your entire life being such a sparklebutt, guys. Sometimes you gotta have a little fun. Live a little. But I wanted to do something for the sparklebutts out there. If you've gotten through this far in the video, you've earned it. So as a reward, I'm not cutting up a Squishmallow this time. This time it's a regular plushie that I'm cutting up. So that's a little better, I hope. Save your tears or whatever's left of them. I didn't want to make a costume for my Squishmallow, but I still wanted to dress him up in little outfits, so I thought it would be cool to pick up a cheap plushie that no one cares strongly about, and cut out the face and have my Squishmallow wear it as a costume. I tried stuffing Seth into there, but he wasn't fitting quite right. Come on, Seth. I cut the slit a little bit wider, not too much, just a little bit, and then I forced him in there. I pictured this going a lot more smoothly in my head. So there you have it. Seth the Red Panda Bee. Dangerous stuff. Not to be messed with. If you're gonna take anything away from today's bloodbath, I hope it's that you just do whatever you want in life, and have fun doing it. I imagine a lot of Sparklebutt tears have been shed once again. But keep in mind, these are my own Squishmallows.
Subscribe! The safety of your Squishmallows depends on it. Your Squishmallows are next.